and I wanted to continue because where I think I'm being cut off, I think I am cutting myself off. But anyhow, at the end of my first video, what I wanted to say is or was, I don't think when people talk about flat earth, it's yes, it's no, it's maybe so, unless that person has personally surveyed the earth. We really don't know what shape it is, what form it is, unless that person has the ultimate knowledge. They don't know. They really don't know. We don't know what's under our oceans. We don't know about all the caverns. They don't tell us that. They tell us that the earth is 75% water, for example, when it could be 100% water. But where we are on the outside and we breathe, we are able to accommodate breathing the thinner form of water. It's very thin. The fish, the ocean life, they navigate in the ocean normally, naturally. We navigate in our ocean, in our atmosphere effortlessly. It's normal for us. So there are a lot of things that as an individual I can figure out. A lot of things, especially when you have time to go hiking in like dense, thick, far out areas, and everything is wet. The air is wet, and because of the trees and the condensation, everything is like kind of different. You realize maybe the earth is not 75% water. Maybe we live on a water planet. So if you're waiting for scientists to say, yes, we lied to you, it's 100% water, we do live on a water planet, and just like the fish in the ocean don't recognize that there's water, we don't recognize we're going through water. You need someone to tell you that? Do you need someone to write something in a book? That's so irritating. Why would you need someone to write something in a book? Why can't you figure things out all on your own? And even what you're figuring out is still part of the illusion. Still part of the illusion. Like I said when I started the first part of the video, people are being persecuted. The church don't want you to talk about flat earth because everything is going to change. But then if you are a reasonably thinking person, wouldn't you think, well, when they first brought religion, they fought that too? And there was a time when the earth was flat. In fact, probably most of Earth's history, people thought the earth was flat. This is something new. The round earth is something new. But when they brought the round earth in, people were probably being killed. People were being stoned, probably. There was a time that you could not have a kitchen garden. You were a witch if you grew herbs and spices. You were a witch. So when you can look at those pockets in history and see how insane those times were and the thinking of people were back then, can't you draw on that and say, well, anything we do now that is different, it will be frowned on that same way? And if you are hearing something new and you start to behave in the way people from the 13th and 12th and 10th century behave, won't you jerk yourself into a sort of reality and say, you know what, that's the same way people behaved back in the day, when people started thinking and saying, well, maybe what we believe is not really so, maybe it's different from what we believe. And can't you think like that? Is it so hard for you to think that your thoughts are wrong? Everything and anything you think about could be wrong, and most probably is wrong. Why do you have to be right, in a world that you don't even know how it got here. You don't know how you got here. You don't know. You don't know why it is set up the way it is set up. Why is it set up the way it is set up instead of being set up where you can fly? Where you can just pluck food out of, you can think about something and it just appeared. Why isn't it set up that way? Why are you so set on keeping this reality the way it is when you know it's a fucked up way to live? You know it. But you're rather go around saying, oh, it is what it is. You'd rather walk around saying bull crap statement like that, it is what it is, instead of saying, I want it to be different and I'm going to think differently to bring in a new paradigm, a zeitgeist, a new time, a new feeling. I want to feel different about things. You'd rather just go along with being a slave. And how do you sit comfortably in any form of slavery and call yourself a man or a woman? How? And then within that slavery, you're breathing, you're bringing other life forms in, knowing you do know that when you bring them in, it's like a computer. You can tell when that child should turn over, when approximately around the time that child should be walking. And if you're with a child, they're gonna start talking like you and thinking like you. You know what's gonna happen. They're gonna go and work, find a job. You know what's gonna happen. And probably things that you wanted to do that you didn't do, that child may do, but the child is not more it's not any different from you. It's just that it may explore something that you were too scared, you were too weak to explore. And so you will say, I hear people saying things like, oh, she's so different from me, or he's so different from me. And no, they're not. They're not different from you. They're just utilizing another part of who you are to discover what they want to discover. So when you realize that stuff is already set, you just go along with it. You don't think about it. You don't think about, everyone that is on this earth die. Everyone has to die. Everyone. You don't think about where you go when you die. You don't think about why do you age? Why do you die? Things that are supposed to be important, you don't think about, but you can find yourself walking up at a fat. You can find yourself running behind a woman or a man. You can find yourself fretting over, your hair, your outfit. You can find yourself fretting over crap and things that are substantive, things that are present and things that do happen and things that do have an impact when they do happen. You don't think about, you just rather be entertained as opposed to being educated and knowing truths. So this is what I was saying at the end of the first video. Why not explore if we are living on a flat earth? Because if we are living on a flat earth, why, when they knew it before 500-600 years ago, why is it that when they knew that before, why did they change it and say it was round and spinning? Round, spinning, and moving through space. And what do they have to do to get you to believe such a lie, such an outlandish lie? I think it would have been easier. It's easier to believe the earth is flat, stationary, and it goes on probably forever. It goes on for so far, we can't even get there. We can't even get, it's everlasting. That's more believable. But they keep you in societies and in communities because they want to get rich from you. They like you to bow down and worship them. That's why the nomadic way of living is frowned on. You can't be a nomad and have a master. Who's going to be your master? Who? No one. No one. They'd rather keep you in cages. But they call it communities, They have those euphemistic terms and words. But they'd rather keep you in a cage. And you love being in a cage, don't you? You do love being in a cage. So you have to admit that. I like being a slave. I have accused Barbadians of resting comfortably in slavery. Angela Cole and I have talked extensively about the fact that Barbadians didn't really rise up, didn't rise to any occasion, no occasion. So it's obvious that there is a big section of the earth that do not mind being enslaved, having the microwave oven, having a big TV, having a little money in the pocket, a little sex on the side, whatever, and they're comfortable with that. They're very comfortable with that. But there's a big, big, big world out there, and there are people saying that all around us is energy. Energy. We just need to know how to cap it. There are certain scientists who will say that if you knew how to manage the amount of energy in a teacup, you can bring down the biggest mountain. Now that is power. Wouldn't you want to know that? Wouldn't you want to know that as opposed to going to work? Wouldn't you want to know that instead of being a prostitute and having to do things you don't want to do? Wouldn't you want to know how to utilize what is free and right here around you? Wouldn't you want to know the truth? That's why I came on today to talk about flat earth. It's not that it's truth. I don't know. I haven't been up. But wouldn't you want to explore it and give people the freedom to explore their thoughts as opposed to telling them that they're stupid because you rather believe what you read in a book? Think about it. You rather believe what you read in a book as opposed to going out and testing things? You'd rather be a lazy bastard. You'd rather be just a nothing. If you come to the earth and don't want to test things, you don't want to test. You rather everything in a box like cereal. Put it in a box. Put it in a cereal. I just want to put milk on it. I want to pour it out in a dish and put milk on it. I want everything in that cereal. Add the vitamins, add the protein, add everything. You rather that? You rather that than to explore the earth that you incarnated on? What if there are lands outside the poles, past the North Pole, past the South Pole? What if the earth is the universe? Not even the earth. What if this earth is a universe that goes on forever, never, 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 never? And if you learn how to capture the energy that you live in energy, you can travel to any place on the earth. Millions of millions of millions of miles and never come to an end. You seem to rather think that the earth is finite, has an end, and that's it. Amen. That's it. You'll rather believe that. And that's why I love people who think outside the box. I love the fact that there are people who are questioning the flat earth because, like I said, it's very new that the flat earth came about. It's very new that money came about, and you just love money. You cannot figure out, up to this day, you cannot figure out that everything you do, you can do without money. You just need to cooperate with people around you. That's all you need to do. You need to cooperate, because it's not as though you're not going to have a thought and like the engineers have thoughts to build things. It's not as though you will forget how to build a house if you don't have money. It's not as though you will forget how to fix your car if you don't have money. Everything, you're still going to have the same amount of knowledge. You just won't be running after money. All you have to do is cooperate with people around you. If you have a thought, share it. Information is for sharing, not to keep it to yourself. You share it. But you'd rather keep it to yourself and live on the dying planet than to share information and live. And live plentifully and live bountifully. You'd rather keep something to yourself. Be selfish. Think that you're better than someone else. You're shit. And you don't shit and you don't piss. No, you want to become a god where everyone around you know you're pissing and shitting. People, anyone around you know that you're still you're doing the same shit as everyone else. But instead of coming together and sharing information where everyone can have a mansion or not. Some people may not want to have a mansion, but everyone will be rich or not. Or not. You'd rather keep things to yourself, pretend you're better than everyone else, and seek worship and turn people into slaves. That's why, for you, the world will always be round and you get nowhere. You just go around in a circle. It's the way you think. You'll just go around in a circle. Think you could circumnavigate something that's probably infinity. You never want to think that way. It's a good way to think. It's a godlike way to think. It's an opulent way to think. But you don't want to think that way, because if you were to think that way, nobody's going to suck your whatever. Nobody's going to bow to you. No one is going to see you as being, oh, Mr. something, or honorable this and honorable that. It's bullshit. You'd rather confine yourself to nothing, to bullshit way of thinking, than to share and to explore and to listen to people. Listen to people. You'd rather just sit down and die. That's what you do. You sit down and die. You come into this earth, this realm. You come here and you die. From the time you're born, you are dying. And you'd rather that than to live. Than to live. And live happily. Live without having a care in the world, because there's so much around, so much knowledge being shared, so much to eat. You're not getting old because you're not thinking about death, so you don't get old. But you'd rather think that the world is finite so that you can think that you are better than other people and have the majority of people poor. And that's what it comes down to. That's what all this comes down to. That's why you have the church. That's why you have a pope. That's why you have a money system. That's why you have a military. It's all to keep people as slaves, as subservient nothings. Because certain people want to think that their shit don't stink. And for so many people to go along with that regime, with that way of thinking, it should tell you that you're not even human. It should tell you something about yourself. If you can see someone and automatically think that that person is better than you, or you have to, flex, bend, do something different because you think, oh, this person has this and that and live this and big house. And if you're thinking that way, you're not even human. You're not human. And if you're not human, what are you doing here? Or maybe here is supposed to be for you. Maybe humans are not supposed to be here. Maybe this is where people like you, soulless people, people that just love being slaves, this is where you should be. But like I said in the first video, if it ever were to come about that people were to know the truth, all this would disappear. The earth would have to disappear. It would disappear if people were to really know truth. And chances are it will not disappear, because whoever is coming to tell you the truth is probably bringing a lie. Whoever you think is God, whatever science or magic or whatever they bring, because we don't know much. So if something or someone pierces the clouds and say, "Here I am," and the whole world can see that person saying, "Here I am. I'm the God of the earth." And you bow down and you say, I've been waiting for you, and blah, 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 and please forgive me, I was an atheist before, blah. If you're doing all that, you deserve to be a slave. You deserve to be a slave. Because no matter what